I see the red dot.
Okay. Hi. Hi. Wie geht's? Hallo. I'm back. Okay, so in my other video, I was talking about how to learn a language and my tips and tricks and techniques to learn with Duolingo. Today I want to talk more because there are so many things beyond Duolingo that you might not know about unless you really dig, and that's what I have done. So I am going to provide unto you some helpful resources besides Duolingo, which is great, and they're not paying me and whatever, and to help you learn a new language. The language I'm learning is German, and I speak English, and I also know French. So a lot of this stuff I'll be using German as an example, or French. If you didn't watch my other video, a little bit about me is that I've been learning German for about almost 7 months now, and I've been using Duolingo, and I put my process of what I do every day in my last video. But there's other things I use sometimes that aren't necessarily in my lesson that I've tried to see if it can help me learn a bit more. The cat wants out, I think. They're so cute. They're our future. So first thing is a website called Memorize. I actually don't know if they have an app, but because I used it on the desktop, but it's a cool kind of alternative to Duolingo. So basically how it works is it's kind of like a lesson of Duolingo, but they give you a word, and to help you memorize that word, you create a mem to rise and learn the language. No, you can create a mem. So basically what that means is to help you remember a word, you can upload a photo or type in a word that's a hint. So like, for example, the word flower in German is Blume. So you can maybe put the word bloom, the English word bloom, to help you memorize it. The word for tree is Baum in German. We can put like Tannenbaum, which you know is a song, Oh Christmas Tree, Oh Tannenbaum, that's a tree. Cool. So I find that feature in particular pretty cool. Although I will say for Memorize, I haven't stuck with it because I feel like it's too easy. I feel like you do it when you're absolutely a beginner, and maybe you do it for like the month leading up to your trip to Italy so you can get around there, for example. I don't think it would be a long-term language learning program, but maybe I just haven't investigated it too much. If you use Memorize and you love it, please put a comment because I want to hear how other people enjoy it and find it useful. There are a lot, and I feel like I don't think of this when I want to learn something or see something or whatever, is to follow an account on Instagram. But there are language learning accounts there too. So one I really like is called German Potato and then 2 underscores. And I found this through Easy German. And she gives you a word in German with a simple definition and then like an example, and she uses it in a sentence. And what I like about her is that she gives you words that you wouldn't find in a textbook. So these are all words that are kind of more maybe slangy, or and it's the same thing, you don't find it on Duolingo either. So I like that as an extra resource, and you see it like every day. It'll just pop up on your feed, and you can probably find a couple other Instagram accounts like that, even Twitter accounts. I haven't checked Twitter because it's not as much of my jam, as it's not my Insta jam. Cool, so social media I think is a huge tool because we use it, well, the average person uses it every day, and you can implement a little learning thing. It's like how your mother would chop up broccoli and put it in tomato sauce, so you wouldn't notice there's vegetables in your pizza, but there is. It's also helpful to use art. I'm using that as an umbrella term right now. I talked in my previous video about Netflix shows that I like that are in German, Dark, and How to Sell Drugs Online, which just came out with a new season, I believe. So that's a good one to start. But a friend of mine, Isabella, shout out, commented to check out Nailed It Germany, which I haven't yet, but I know Nailed It, and I know Nailed It is so fun. And I think that's a cool switch because the other 2 shows I watch are scripted, and Nailed It is a cooking show. It's a funny cooking show. And Nailed It is cool too because if you're learning Spanish, French or German, they have versions of those too. They have Nailed It Mexico, Nailed It Spain, and Nailed It France, as well as Nailed It Germany, and then just like the American version with the hilarious comedian Nicole Byer, whom I love. Another fun trick is just to put subtitles on. If you have Disney Plus, and that's the only thing you have, throw in some German subtitles so you can see the words pop up to help you on one of your favorite and longest loving movies like Mulan. The next is music. Pretty much all the music on the charts is pop music, and the cool thing about pop music and language learning is that pop music is very repetitive, like baby, 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 oh. And a lot of other ones will just enunciate every word, like we gon' light it up like it's dynamite. Look for the pop music in your learning language, and hopefully you'll find something like, there's one German song I like called An guten Tagen, but he repeats An guten Tagen like over and over again. Like when I was in high school, I didn't have any friends, and I listened to the community rap in Spanish from the show Community, where they do it's like Donde está la biblioteca. Now I can say that whole thing, and I know what all the words mean too, because I looked it up because I was so lonely. The next is a fun app I want to talk about called Lyrics Training. This is what it looks like, and you see it. So it has music videos, and as you go along, there's an An guten Tagen. I was just talking about that. And it'll have blanks, and it'll give you multiple choice for the lyrics, and as you go, you have to fill in the blank. So it might be like, come over blank, and then there's 4 choices, and you're like, well, here, come over here seems to be the best choice, for example. It's kind of like Guitar Hero, but for learning languages. Next is books. Maybe not books, but stories. One thing that I like to do is look up like simple kid stories online and see if I can understand it. And for the most part, I can. I'm really proud of myself for that. There's one good website called thefablecottage.com. In the German section, at least, they have little stories like Snow White, ones you know and are familiar with. And they separate it like paragraph by paragraph and have little pictures sometimes. It's like a picture book for children. And if you're like, I'm not sure what this means, you can translate the sentence in English. So they have it for English, French, Spanish, Italian, and German. If that's not one of your languages, then just Google simple short stories, or fairy tales are especially good in Japanese or Polish. It took me so long to think of a different language. Another thing I like to do is another app, and this app is called Beelinguapp, one word. And it's similar to that, where you'll get a little story, you'll go sentence by sentence. They have a narrator who can read it out for you if you click on it, and then they have the English translation underneath. And so I read Schneewittchen, which is Snow White. And they also have like the Odyssey and other stories like that. They do have paid stories as well, but you can just ignore those because I'm trying to provide you guys with free resources, and they have different tabs at the bottom. So they have like general stories, then they have kids. So if you're like brand new to this language, try the kids stories because they're super simple and they're very repetitive, but they're good. And then the next, they have news. So if you don't want to read a story and you just want to read news, they have that too. And finally, they have song lyrics. So I said Tannenbaum earlier, but they have A Christmas Tree. Yeah, and other simple, repetitive songs like that to really help you learn. So that's called Beelinguapp. Disclaimer, I'm not getting paid by any of these people. Okay, moving on. And then another app I really like is called Speaky. Speak with a Y at the end. Just like a cute way of saying speak. No, but what Speaky is it connects you with people. So I'm an English speaker wanting to learn German. So it might connect me with a German speaker who wants to learn English, and we can chat back and forth. But the thing about this app is it's only as good as your speaking partner is. So if they suck and you can't find anyone good, then you're not gonna get anything out of the app. Just try it out though, try your best, you might find someone who might help you. Okay, I hope you found all these tips and tricks useful and helpful, and if you have any cool additional resources, games, apps, or you want to recommend movies, TV shows, songs, please do so. Okay, thank you for listening, and also, tschüss.